Hey team, and welcome to today's Facebook Live around the question as to whether or not you have enough leads coming from your Facebook group. I just made a post in the group simply asking the question, would you like to know about increasing leads? And the overwhelming response has been yes. So that tells me that there are coaches and course creators and consultants out there right now with Facebook groups that aren't bringing in enough leads. So I want to talk about that today and want to give you some tools and frameworks to bringing in leads through one simple method that one of our clients, Lenita, brought in 10K alone when she joined our program from, and want to show you some back-end numbers as to how you can increase those numbers from one simple method. So stick around to the end. If you're jumping on the replay, you know what to do. Hashtag team replay into the comments. Would love to see who's catching up on this as I go through some of the thoughts for today's session, increasing leads. So first of all, I want to ask you the question, what is your lead flow rate like within your group? What are the numbers? Do you know your numbers? Have you got a spreadsheet? Have you got a Trello board? Have you got somewhere in a CRM that you know the amount of leads that come in on a weekly basis or a daily basis, should I say, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, quarterly basis, so that you can track these things. If you're not tracking your numbers, I can't stress this enough, you don't know where you're going and how to fix them. Okay, if you get to end of quarter or end of year and you're looking back to see what your business has done and you don't know along the way ebbs and flows, you're lost, unfortunately. So do you know your numbers? I'd love to know in the comments, do you know the amount of leads coming into your group daily, weekly, monthly? If yes, pop yes. If no, obviously no. If you're not sure, type in not sure. Be totally transparent about that because I want to share with you some of the, or one way, not some of. Today, we're only going to spend maybe 10, 20 minutes on this. One way that you can generate more leads from your group. There are tons of ways, okay? There are heaps and heaps of ways. We just hopped off a Genius call with Ken Okazaki and we were talking about the 1%ers that make all the difference over time. This right here is much bigger than a 1%er. It's actually more around the number of 85%. That is after us taking through 1,222 members in this group through this process. We have come out with one simple method that has generated 85% leads. 1,222 members, that's the size of the case study that we've looked at the numbers, and it's resulted in 85% leads. On average, and that's on one method, on average, it's returned 78 point, what are the numbers here? 78.2, I think, % leads, okay? So for those of you live, gonna check this out, drop in a comment and say what is up. Awesome to have you on the call. Lachlan, Kaylee, absolute babe. Let's rock this thing. So here's the thing, when I kicked off or got my feet in the water, pretty much into Facebook groups, it was like 2017. And for those of you who don't know, I previously had a business helping creatives and freelancers bring in more clients to their businesses. Huge hole in the market, helping everyone in that creative space learn how to find and secure clients. And I built a course around that. Now, without knowing anything about Facebook groups back in 2017 time period, I started one based on some advice from a friend. Hey, you should kick off a Facebook group. I built an Instagram following and I started to go, I've been on Instagram for the longest time, built up a following here. I know how it works. I was on MySpace previous to that. I was on MSN, and that was the first time that I'd ever spoken to anyone internationally that I didn't know and had a conversation with them. I'd love to know anyone else old enough to be on this call that was on MSN and had that sort of like, whoa, I'm speaking to someone who I've got no clue who they are behind a screen and we're getting to know each other. Fast forward to 2021 and you've got every man and their dog or every coach and their dog pitching services via DMs when they've got no clue who we freaking are, right? So fast forward the process, you can see how that has multiplied from all these MSN people back in the day. What's up, Lenita? What's up, John? Awesome to have you on. Some of you guys were on MSN. Great, right? So I had this program, started a Facebook group and started to go, all right, maybe I'll start building this audience, okay? I built up an Instagram audience. I'll start moving people in here, build up YouTube, etc. Let's see what these Facebook groups are about. Now, that group grew pretty quickly to 1,000, 1,500, I think maybe topped out close to 2,000. I can't remember now, it was so long ago. And I started to work out ways to sell my program within the Facebook group. That was happening via live calls, via different posts that I was working out that were successful, different ways of giving value and forming competitions or giveaways, different challenges, etc. They were all sort of the nuts and bolts, okay? Sort of the stuff that we teach now within our Profitable Group Academy, but they were the things I was figuring out that worked to drive leads and sales. On reflection, the one thing that I'd never played around with and set up within that Facebook group were the membership entry questions. I was letting in 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 people to the group without framing any questions to qualify, to pre-vet, and to allow them to raise their hand and speak with me about the program. The question I have for you right now is, 1, do you have membership questions for your group? 2, are they generating leads in your business with every person that comes in? 3, do you know the percentage rate of those leads? As I mentioned, I'm about to share with you some of the behind the scenes that have generated 85% lead return rate on average out of 1,222 people that have come into this group. That may be you if you're on this call. Okay, so I'd love you to answer those questions right now. 1, have you got questions in your group? 2, are they generating leads? 3, do you know the percentage of leads that they're generating based on the questions that you are asking? If you answered no to any of those 3, you need to stick around to the end of this call. It's going to be mind-blowing. Let's dive in and take a look at the back end. Let's have a look at a spreadsheet I've got here for you right now that's going to showcase some of the numbers and how they work. Is that cool with everyone? Haley, awesome to have you on. You said yes, yes, but not every person. John, yes, yes, no, meaning don't know the percentages or the numbers. Haley doesn't know the stats. Hey, totally cool. I was there as well once upon a time, and we're going to walk through this right now. So I'm going to share over screen. I'd love to know when you've got my screen on your page. It should be a spreadsheet. It says Facebook group membership question number 2. Let me know when you've got that. Also, guys, smash up the like button. Tell Facebook and the rest of our group that you're finding value and that you're here face-to-face with us right now. I would love to get that feedback as well if you're finding value. Appreciate it, Lachlan. All right, can everybody see this bright and clear? Is it large enough? We are at 200%. I'm going to magnify it even more. Let's go 250 and see what that looks like. Actually, it's not going more than 200, so you're going to have to deal with this. So here's the thing. Facebook group question number 2. I've talked about this in previous trainings. You can find them in the guide section of the group. Number 1, the whole purpose of group question number 1 is to, and I'm going to jot these down here, is to qualify, okay, and engage. That's the purpose of question number 1. Question number 2, the whole purpose is to give your members an opportunity to raise their hand. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the term raise hand, that simply means, hey, I would like to hear more about the thing that you offer. Program, membership, mastermind, etc. Question number 3 is your opportunity to gain an email address and build your list. Okay, so that is the purpose of the 3 questions. They are the format and the layout that you should provide within your group. So if you have these questions in the wrong order, they won't work. If you have these questions sort of mixed up, okay, they're not going to work. If you have the wording and the framing of these questions slightly wrong, you're not going to get a high response rate. That's what we're here to talk about right now. And specifically, we're going to talk about question number 2. Now, in my previous group, I mentioned that I didn't have any of these questions within the group. The group is still alive and it doesn't have these questions. Now, the group is alive, but it's not active. It's not a group that I run anymore. There's no more content that goes into there. So don't go out looking and stressing about trying to get in that group right now. But here's the thing, I didn't have those questions lined up. Now, the business still did 6 figures a year. However, and this is for online coaching, selling a course, program, okay, etc. It would have done triple plus that if I simply had have had these questions in place. Would have built my list, would have qualified the right people for the group, but most importantly, number 2, I would have had people raising their hand on the front end coming into my group rather than somewhere in the middle of the funnel, okay, on a live video, on a specific post, etc. If that makes sense, just type "makes sense" into the chat right now so that I can tell that this is connecting across this internet connection to people that I've never met before, face to face, kind of like MSN days, but we're now in 2021 with Zoom and screen share and live feeds on Facebook. Crazy. Let's talk about question number 2. Lachlan, glad it makes sense, dude. Here's what I've tested. The total number of accounts that I went back and analyzed this data for was 1,222. Now, in our group right now, there are much more than that. There's well over double that. But I've taken it back 1,222 members and calculated the data specifically to find out what questions produced the most results. What we can see here is the question 2 theme that was presented in question number 2. What we can see here are the total number of answers that were received in regards to each theme. The total number of answers that were responded yes, okay, sure, or go for it. They're typically the 4 answers that prospects or members will give. And then the percentage of people that responded yes, okay? So that percentage laid out for us. What we can see here is 1,222 members, 963 members responded yes. So if we're looking over here at raising hand, that is 963 members saying yes to hearing about our offer. Imagine if you had 963 people come and join your group and ask you to tell them about your offer, okay? Which gives us a percentage on average of 78%, 78.81% of members that join our group say yes just by framing this question right. Now that's an average based on 4 different themes that we've tested over 1,222 members. If we look at and break down each theme, theme number 1 here is an average. And this is presenting an average calculation based on the results that your clients get from your offering and framing it in a way that would want people to see and hear more about your details. So this is calculating an average, and we had 363 members see this question and 257 answer yes, providing a 70.8% yes rate. So simply put, that is essentially 3 out of 4 members that joined our group said yes, they want to hear our details. The second theme here was a birthday theme, celebrating the birthday of our program when it turned 1 mid last year, and framing if people wanted to hear what we were doing around the celebration of that birthday. 350 people saw and answered this question. 284 people said yes, giving us a yes rate of 81.14%. Okay. Now, I hope you're thinking through some ideas here as to how you might frame question number 2. The third theme that we looked at was speaking about COVID and the effects that it's had on the online and coaching space in regards to Facebook groups, which is obviously our Genius Zone. We had 213 members respond and see this question. 168 of them say yes, giving us 78.87% respond yes. Okay, so at this stage, birthday is winning at 81.14. The winner, drum roll please, was the case study offering method in terms of framing up how you present your offer with testimonial of clients that have succeeded with you. And we had 296 people answer the question or see the question, 254 answer it and actually respond yes, and 85.1%. Okay, 85.1%. So if you're looking for a winner out of these 4 themes, I mean, any one of the 4 work, as we can see. Your group should be aiming for no less than 70. If you are currently in the 60s, the 50s, or less, I pray you're not less than that right now, you're letting leads slip away, literally through your fingers, okay? Simply by framing a question right and positioning it well where people want to hear and receive from you, because right now in the marketplace, people don't want to hear and receive messages from anyone else. Life is too crazy. There are too many cold pitches happening. I could talk to you about Instagram right now and two people that are pitching. One who I have no idea, he has no credibility that I can see online. There is no social proof. There are no client testimonials, nothing, pitching his services in one simple message. The other is someone who I would call qualified. I don't know who he is, but I can see what he's done, the results he's had for clients, for himself, the track record that is there. However, still pitching in an ugly format. Okay, I am not raising my hand to jump on a call with him, yet he still offered the call. Wrong. We want to frame our question number 2 in a way that allows our members to say, yep, Ryan, I would love to hear about that thing. Please shoot me a message. In the sea of people that are flooding the market with cold pitches, we want our members saying, I want to hear about that thing. Okay, so the other unspoken, and is this valuable? Please let me know if this is. Smash up the like button, drop the word value or hashtag value in the comments as well. Really important to know your numbers here and go back. Now, how do you go back and check these numbers? You need to use a software that is going to collect your member entry data. If you haven't done that currently, Facebook has taken that data and locked it away for you never to see again. Real shame when they're the ones screaming how important Facebook groups are. We choose to use Group Leads. There are other softwares out there. I think Group Convert, Group Kit, like a bunch of others on the market. We've been using Group Leads for 2 years now. It's been phenomenal. They are the fastest to listen to their audience and make updates accordingly as Facebook changes every single day and week. Highly recommend them. If you're using Group Leads, you can then build a database like we have here to go back and check what sort of results you're getting based on the questions that you're asking. And this list just goes on and on and on and on. Not only is it market research, you are understanding the psyche of your ideal prospects. Okay, what is working, what is not. Okay, so I highly recommend, one, implementing software and CRM to make sure you're capturing every single member's data that comes in so that you can go back and analyze the data that you've received. 2, make sure that you have your question framed correctly. Feel free to use any of these themes we've talked about today to make sure that your yes percentage is above 70%, hopefully in the 80% range or above, because every lead is an opportunity. 3, the other thing that we do, which we're not going to cover on this call, is we collect people that haven't answered questions inside of our group. So if we've got only a certain percentage here, 70 to 85% of people saying yes, there is a small percentage that say no, and some percentage that don't answer at all. We want to collect and give those people an opportunity to actually answer these questions. So these numbers are actually wrong. This number is actually much higher than 78.1%, and this number 963 is actually much higher because of the people inside a group that say, yes, we want to hear about those details because they didn't answer the questions on their way in. What's up, Laura? Dominique, awesome to have you on. Haley, glad to see you got value and that you've got to start testing. Here's the thing before we wrap up. I'm glad you found value here. Hopefully this has been just insightful into the numbers that you need to know for your Facebook group. And this is one element as the lead flow process begins for your prospects as they enter your ecosystem. There's a ton of others, a couple that we've touched on this call, but so many others that build a highly successful, engaged, and profitable group. My thought coming onto this call was wondering who would like to brainstorm and have a jam session on Zoom around framing up your question number 2. I would only like to invite people onto this call. It'd be totally free. It would just simply be a jam and working out how you can frame this question for your group and your business. But it would only be for a coach with an established business or a course creator or consultant. Okay, you've got a product, you've got a group with either people in it or you're looking to launch one really soon. You know that you've taken your product to market and it's sold, and you would like to generate more leads from your group than you currently are right now. And you can't say that if you're launching a group, but if you've got one and you answer yes to that, I would like you to just drop leads into the chat. This isn't a definite that I will run this session, but it'll give me an idea as to who's interested and as to whether we should jump on a Zoom call in the next week or two, just to flesh out this question for you specifically with your group, to make sure that you can increase that lead rate so that you're not having leads slip through your fingers as people come into your group, okay? So that they're raising hands on the front end of your Facebook group and not somewhere in the middle or the back. So just drop leads into the comments just to give me a gauge as to who would be interested and whether we could make this work or not. It's been awesome to see that you found a ton of value here. If you would like to learn any more, our website is Profitable Group Academy. We've got a blog there working through step-by-step tons of different things. Should I kick members out of my group? What sort of posts should I put in my group? What sort of content should I create and the cadence around that? How do I sell more? How do I engage more? You can check that out with a bunch of other resources as well as our Group to Profit course. But if you would like potentially a Zoom brainstorm, type in leads below. I'll check those out. Haley, Lachlan can see your comments already. That's fantastic. Guys, we are live every Friday, just about every Friday, as long as there's not some chaos unfolding on this side of the screen. Thank you for joining us. Remember to have a fantastic day. Be awesome because you are awesome. Let's change more people's lives than ever before. It's been great hanging out with all of you, and I look forward to seeing you all really, really soon. Comment leads if you want or are interested in hanging out on Zoom together. Have a fantastic day, guys. This is Ryan, also known as your Group Jedi. Bye for now.